Hey guys, welcome back to Funny Blunt Truth. We're on episode 35. We have a special guest. Well, first, my name's Dave. Don's on a podcast.
Here as always.
We have a special guest. Let's see if I get his last name correct. All right. Nick Santonastasso. Did I get that right, Nick?
Yes, that's pretty good.
All right. Now, Nick is an aspiring fitness model. He's a motivational speaker, ultra positive YouTube personality. Nick's going to talk about this, but he was born with a special, like a rare condition that he just totally owns and rolls with. Nick promotes no limits, loving oneself. And let me just read something from Nick's YouTube page so you get an idea of his personality and his mindset. 20-year-old kid with the mission to inspire the world, aspiring fitness model and bodybuilder, to show you can have anything you want in this life as long as you work hard enough for it. I love it, man. So, Nick, thanks for being on the show. We really,
thank you guys.
Yeah, really appreciate it. So, first question. So, Nick, if you would be so kind, tell the listeners your story.
All right. My name's Nick Santonastasso. I'm currently 20 years old, and I was born in New Jersey. I was born with a rare genetic disorder called hand-heart syndrome. Now, hand-heart syndrome either leaves the baby with undeveloped limbs or undeveloped organs with about a 30% chance to live, and there's only about 9 to 10 cases, and about 8, more than half have passed away due to undeveloped organs, the baby not being able to eat itself or just live on its own. But in my case, I was born with undeveloped limbs. My organs were 100% healthy. I was born with no legs, one arm, and one finger on my left arm. And do you want me to keep going throughout my whole life, or?
Hey man, go as far as you want, man.
Dig in.
All right. So growing up as a kid, I didn't really understand that I was different. I didn't really see any difference. I'm just a kid, being a kid, until I got to middle school and sophomore, freshman year. I realized that I was super different, and I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. I couldn't work a regular job like a regular kid, and I was just scared about the future. And that was my lowest point in life, was middle school. I was just like, why am I here? Why do I have to be born like this and go through everyday challenges that normal kids wouldn't have to go through? And so middle school was my rock bottom, and I just didn't want to live anymore. I didn't feel like I had a purpose until my sophomore year. My right arm was actually a little bit longer than it is now, and the bone was growing faster than the skin, so I couldn't touch it on things. It was like very sensitive. And one day I made the decision. All my best friends were wrestlers. My older brother was a wrestler for the same high school, and I wanted to be a wrestler. So I made the decision to amputate my arm a little bit and make it, have a bunch of cushion on it, as in like skin, more skin around it, so I could do physical activities. And I started wrestling. And, that's where I really found, my why am I here, and that came when I would wrestle. I started off, junior year, I was JV, which means I wasn't varsity. I wasn't on the starting squad. And then I got my butt kicked that whole year. And then I worked hard, and I just wanted to get a little bit better. Maybe I can get that varsity spot. And I came back senior year as the 106 varsity pounder for my, high school wrestling team.
Awesome.
And, I'd go out, and I didn't win very much, but I gave it my all. And, I would have, packed gymnasiums just to see me wrestle. And, I finally realized after a little bit, because I was very confused of why I'd get standing ovations even when I lost. Cause, I have that winner's mentality, and I don't think losing should be, applauded. I'm very competitive, and, I didn't realize why are you clapping for me? I lost. And then, I realized the impact I had on people, after the match. Parents will come up to me and be like, my kid never did a sport, and, seeing you out there and seeing, doing it with ease and like just giving it your all, like my sons or my daughters like doing all these sports now. And I was like, wow, like in my head, I was like, I didn't think, I didn't know I can impact people like that just doing my daily life. And I was like, I'm on to something here. And, that's when I finally just realized, that the impact that I have on people, and that's what motivates me still today. And my senior year was when, you know, Vine, the app Vine was very popular. And you know, I was like, hey, like maybe I could do Vine, and I wanted to think of something that, you know, I could do and no one else can do. I mean, not many people were doing it. I mean, I haven't seen any other people do it, but I started dressing up as a zombie, you know, and I put like blood by the legs, and I'd scare people in public stores. And my first zombie prank went insanely viral. I woke up the next day, it had over 100,000 likes on everything. And I was like, wow, I'm onto something. And within that month, I think I gained like 250 to 300,000 followers on Vine.
Wow.
And, you know, I was like, I'm onto something. And it wasn't really just for the pranking, but for people to see me, you know, being comfortable in my situation, comfortable in my own skin. I mean, there's like, you know, a back message behind it. So I wanted to inspire and entertain people at the same time. And that's what I did. I kept doing the Vines, and that led me to getting hired by Fox International to scare the Norman Reedus of The Walking Dead. So they flew me out to Tokyo to do that. And then, you know, I thought, you know, that was my thing. You know, I'd be a prankster and that'd be my career. But I finally realized, you know, I wanted to be something more, like, at least to me, I wanted to be something more important, you know, something bigger. I'm always striving to be better. And I was always, you know, inspired by guys that were fit. I never thought I'd have a six pack, you know, just with my condition. And that was just me, you know, mentally limiting myself until I actually, you know, put it together. I wanted to be a fitness model. I wanted to be a bodybuilder. I wanted to be known, you know, in that sport. I wanted to be known as an athlete. And that's something that, you know, I really wanted to do. And, you know, I started posting, and in, it was a big change for my Vine fans, because, you know, they followed me for my funny stuff and my pranks. So I took a hard hit when I started posting fitness stuff, and totally changed my career path. You know, I was losing followers. And the first like year and a half, people didn't take me serious. You know, they were like, "What are you doing? Like, you had this good career going, and you totally just switched it." And that was fine, you know, because it was something in my heart that I knew that I wanted and that I can achieve. And, you know, no matter what you're doing in life, people are always going to be doubting you. And the hard part about it is sometimes it's going to be your friends, and sometimes it's going to be your family. But, you know, that shouldn't stop you. That stops most people. And so, you know, the first year and a half was tough. And then, you know, I started getting into killer shape, and people realized, like, yo, this kid's not joking.
You're pretty ripped, dude. I'm kind of jelly of your abs. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to be truthful.
And so, you know, these past 7 months, I mean, I have just, you know, got, you know, the greatest supporters, you know, following me. And it's just this big movement that we've been starting. I mean, two months ago, I had around 40K Instagram followers. I'm up to 130,000.
Wow.
You know, so we're gaining at like ridiculous speeds. And, you know, I'm not even in like the best shape. Like you know, like the potential is just so limitless, and it just pumps me up, because like what happens to the fitness industry when I'm in, you know, disgusting shape, when I'm like shredded to the bone, you know, people are not going to be ready for that. And, you know, people won't be ready for that. And when it happens, they're gonna be like, wow, you know, this kid's the real deal. And people are starting to find out, you know, that, you know, I'm in it for the long haul. It's not just, you know, a little phase that Nick has.
That's awesome, man. Your drive is just like so inspiring. And, you got a wrestler's toughness, man. Cause, I wrestled in high school, not to the extent that you did, but I did wrestling, and, I got into MMA for a little bit. So, which is like kind of similar, but honestly, I found a conditioning and wrestling like harder.
Oh, absolutely.
It's ridiculous. So much running. People don't realize like how much cardio you have to like wrestle. But,
well, even to hit on that point, Dave, like with the wrestling, when you don't have legs, you have one arm, like how do you go about winning a match in wrestling, just for the lay people out there? Cause you know, I don't have a clue.
You know, the first thing that I would practice is, you know, not giving up the full 6 points or not getting pinned. So I would always practice my back bridges in case I got put to my back. My back bridges were super strong, which helped. But for me, it was, you know, I feel like it was more being comfortable with me distributing my weight the right way, and not being heavy on like my arm or like leaning back. You know, it was a lot of trial and error. And, just getting stronger. But like I said, I wrestled 106, but to step on the varsity scale and be able to wrestle, you had to weigh 85 pounds. I only weighed 85 pounds, so all my opponents had 20 plus pounds of me, and so that really helped them out.
Do you ever feel like they saw you as an easy target?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Underestimated you.
I've went up against, people that placed in the region and they couldn't pin me. So, yeah, I had a kid, he was wrestling me and, his coach was like, pin him already, and he couldn't pin me. He had to tech me, which means, get, 15 plus points more than the opponent. And, so, I mean, yeah, hell yeah, a lot of people thought that I was, an easy target. And hey, that's fine.
Now, Nick, so why, an aspiring fitness model and bodybuilder, like out of all things, what's your motivation? And did you have anybody any fitness personality that like inspired you? Like with me, it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. For me, it was, the first guys I started watching was C.T. Fletcher. And
okay, love him.
Because I actually did a collab with him. I actually did a collab with him, and now we're really close. It's funny how things work. But I started watching him, and his story. He's died like a couple times.
Yeah.
So like he's the real deal. And being switching it to the fitness stuff. As my business mindset, I was thinking, how marketable is it? You can have a guy, a full-bodied guy, shredded up, promoting something that works, or you can have a guy with no legs and one arm and he's shredded up, and they're like, how the hell is that guy like that? I mean, it's so marketable, and once the industry realizes how marketable I am, I mean, it's going to be, just the ball is going to roll, and it's not going to stop rolling because people are going to realize how marketable it is. So, I mean, from a business standpoint, I was like, wow, this could be very marketable because you can't buy a good body. You can't buy a fit body. It comes with
hard work
and discipline, hard work. And it's something that you can't buy. So when people see me, in shape, they're like, wow, and that I felt like, that's, how can I get my message out there and so powerful? It would be through fitness, and then I can link the fitness to motivational speaking.
Your body's a billboard, man, for like your hard work and motivation.
Well, I'd say the hard work is a billboard, or the body's a billboard for the hard work. But no, that's intense.
Yeah, that's what I get out of fitness, man. It's pretty black and white. The more work you put in, the more results you're going to get. And then when you make these gains and progress, man, it's like all on your back. You did that.
You did that. That's you. No one can take that from you.
Yep. And speaking of like the working out and getting shredded, man, I was watching some of your videos, and you have some pretty creative ways to like target certain muscle groups and like work around, your condition and stuff like that. So you want to talk about that? Like, do you actually create custom equipment or? Yeah.
That's funny you said that, because people ask me all the time, and I tell them, when I started going to the gym, I mean, I'm going to learn something new every day. I mean, everybody learns something new every day when they keep doing something. And, but going in there first starting, it's all I link it to my life. It's all trial and error. I always say, my life was a big failure turning to a success because I failed at everything I did, but I didn't give up. I found a way to work with it and to adapt to it. So, going to the gym, it's a lot of time spent, what angle do I have to sit to hit this muscle? Or, it's just a lot of failing and me just always, my brain just going to think of ways that I can hit things.
I saw this one video, to target, both sides of your pecs, like your chest, you were using bands. And I thought it was I thought that was pretty ingenious, man. Like working around, your condition and stuff to hit certain muscle groups. Love that.
Did you have to talk to any personal trainers on that note, like to help out with that stuff, or was that all from you?
It's funny. It wasn't all from me, but I didn't talk to any some personal trainers, but like, I didn't go out and like pay people to like show me certain ways. It was just, I have a lot of great friends and a lot of people around me, that are always thinking of ways for me to adapt things. So, it's not just me. It's a bunch of brain power that, we're always just thinking of ideas.
Don, you got a question?
Oh, you shoot, man. I know you got a million lined up.
Yeah. So Nick, I just want to get into your brain a little bit. Do you enjoy, proving people wrong, or is it more of like setting an example? If I can do it, you could do it type thing.
It's not. I mean, proving people wrong. I enjoy proving people wrong when people say that I can't do things. Mm-hmm. But in general, like if, you know, in general, I'm not trying to always prove people wrong. It's the setting example, you know. I mean, especially for these kids nowadays, these kids are so weak. Like, that's just the bottom line. This generation is
weak.
Yeah, mentally weak. So they don't know how to handle things, you know. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's so marketable for me to just speak because it's tangible proof that, like, dude, like, who cares? Like, who cares what your situation is? Like, let's work around it. Like, let's not sit here and mope about it. Let's figure out what we're gonna do to better ourselves. Mm-hmm. And that's just, I don't know, dude. This generation is just, I feel bad for them.
Well, how old are you, Nick?
I'm only 20.
You sound like us, and we're into our mid to late 30s.
Dude, we're in our 30s, man. I gotta say, you're super wise, man, for your age and mature. It's crazy.
But it's true, though. I mean, the younger generation, they are a bit, and not to alienate them if they are listening, but traditionally speaking, if you've come from hardships, man, it's hard to listen to millennials, you know.
Yeah.
Very difficult. They're complaining about the spilled jelly beans. You're like,
my
really?
iPhone case cracked.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
But I'm part of them, you know? So it's important for me to rise and show them what we should be and not, let's not cry about everything.
Nick, so, I don't know if you're willing to talk about this, but, what are some of the biggest challenges, like, you faced, in your life? Like, just the biggest obstacles, like, on a day to day? It could be big, small, like, anything you want to share.
You know, still now, I'm a little bit bothered with it, but it's come a long way. My confidence has grown a long ways. Going out in public my boys know I hate crowded places. So if we're going out and it's crowded, they know that I'm like mentally bugging out because like growing up and being like this, you know, I noticed the little things. I noticed like the little stares, the little points, you know, the people like, oh, like tapping on their friend's shoulder and then the whole table looks. I'm like, oh, that's not obvious. You know, I notice those things and sometimes my friends don't catch them. So it's going out in public, but you know, ever since I started getting in shape, I've been so, you know, my confidence has risen and just, you know, I feel a lot more comfortable with myself.
That's awesome,
that was still a big, you know, just a big challenge. Just, I don't enjoy getting stared at. I don't think anyone enjoys that.
Yeah, nobody does, man.
Now what happens though when you become like a David Beckham and you're super recognizable, but they're looking at you for a different reason then?
When that'll be great.
You're gonna own that.
You'll be like success.
You know, it's still a challenge, and I'll bring it up. And I have a mentor. His name's Chris Cavallini, and we were talking about it in Vegas. And I was like, "Yo, man, like, because in Vegas, you know, it's crowded." I'm like, "Dude, like," he's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "No, like, people stare at me." He's like, "Dude, do you ever think that like people aren't they're staring at you for another reason?" You know, everything he says I listen to and I execute. I try to. And he's like, all right, for now on, for the rest of the day, like if someone, you know, makes eye contact with you, smile and you know, maybe start a conversation. Mm-hmm. And he's right because, you know, people aren't always looking at me for that, you know, they just, you know, curious and want to talk. Mm-hmm. And it's true, you know, so even in the gym, you know, if someone gives me a smile or something, you know, I'll go up and introduce myself and, you know, that's just part of progressing in life and, you know, making yourself uncomfortable. It's the only way you're going to progress.
Yeah. I think that's crucial, man. Sometimes you gotta like, change your approach to life and stuff. Absolutely. And, change your mindset and like how you view things. So
Amen.
I'm not a big crowd person either, man, for the record. I'm more of like a chill, laid back guy. And, I'm kind of a loner and, crowds just drive me crazy. Don, you like crowds?
No, I don't think anybody really likes crowds.
You're a super people person, though.
No, that's just because I know what they want. So I'm a good salesman. That's all I think it is. No, I mean, I think it's different. I think when you go out to a bar, I have not to say I ever had a similar high school to you, but for me, high school was the pits, Nick, you know, like I completely understand what you're saying. You know, I was really underdeveloped, in school. And I was teased mercilessly for it. And I was tortured. I was beat up constantly, you know, like, so for me, I mean, I completely, understand where you're coming from on, a lot of those levels. So, I don't know where I was going with all that, but I understand what you're talking about and a lot of the stuff you were saying. But going out in public, it's funny. Like once you develop later on, I think I don't have a problem that much anymore. But I think a lot of the humor, because it's not necessarily portrayed here on the podcast, but when we go out and I'm at a bar, I'm always like the goofy, laughy, loud guy that makes everybody laugh. But I think some of that's a compensation for the insecurities left over from middle school and high school.
Yeah.
So that answers your question.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of high school either, man. I
hated school.
I wound up switching schools, and I just didn't like the clickiness of like high school. But anyway,
yeah, dude, hated the clickiness.
Oh my god, man, I couldn't stand it, man. I was kind of alone.
Not only that, too, like the schools, the teaching, I don't know if it was the same for you, Nick, but for me, like that standardized, everybody has to test exactly the same way, that just bothered the daylights out of me.
Bunch of sheep people, that's what we call them,
Yeah, sheeple.
That's right. You just, and the teachers are actually getting pretty bad, they were pretty bad even in my day, because they just usually would teach to the test. And so they would only care if you could actually fill in the multiple choice answer the way you need to. It's not about anything outside of that. There's no knowledge about why Napoleon did what he did. It's just what year was it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right, Nick. So, I got another question for you. And I'm really curious about this also. So besides being a fitness model and bodybuilding and inspiring the world, like what are your other like goals and like interests, big or small? What other things are you into?
I want to write a top book. I want a top seller book. Who knows when I'm going to do that. I'll probably surprise the world when I do that. But yeah, I want to be like, a New York best time seller. And to be honest, I just want to spoil the crap out of my parents financially, just so they don't have to worry about anything. I mean, I think every kid wants to spoil those who they love. So I just want to get to the point financially where I don't have to worry about anything, and neither do my parents or my family.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, what kind of book we're talking? Fiction, nonfiction, exercise, sci-fi?
Like my life,
Okay.
And just, the hardships and the struggles that turned me into who I am.
So kind of take your video blogs and like just transfer them to like, text like on paper, because I see some of your videos, you talk about just like life in general,
Yeah, I try to. I mean, I need to work more on my YouTube. My YouTube's not that big, so I'd like to work on that because it's a good community, especially if you grow a good community, just you get to post whatever you want and people listen.
The one bad thing about YouTube though, man, I mean, there's like, and I don't know, I'm not too familiar with Vine, but, there's a lot of negativity on YouTube too.
YouTube is the worst.
Everywhere.
It's crazy, dude. It's kind of sad because sometimes when I look at, comments like on YouTube, I say to myself, like, is this how you really feel? Like, is this how most people really feel when they're like anonymous? That's sad.
Yeah. Well, bro, you should see my Instagram page when WorldStar reposts me, bro. I get roasted by everyone on WorldStar.
Dude, that is, it's sad, man. The state of the world. Don and I talk about that.
It's sad for them. But those people ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
You don't gotta worry about them.
But, very true. But it's like, the internet is, comments and stuff on YouTube and social media. It's
disgusting.
It's disgusting, man. And it's like, I think it depends on the channel. But it's like 70%, maybe like higher, like probably like around there, like negative and haters, man. And it's like when you're anonymous and you don't think you can be like put on blast, like, just seeing that out there is like, is that the majority of the world right now?
It is. I will say though, it does vary from media platform to platform, because I've noticed that, at least to me, it feels like the internet is a multiple personality disorder for every person cruising. So, like on Instagram, there's a lot of good conversations that happen, at least with my stuff. And then if you go onto YouTube, almost every single YouTube section is just nasty, like evil stuff, like really bad stuff. And then you can go to other sections on like, Facebook might be okay or whatever it is. And I don't know, like I just feel like the internet for me, it really depends on the platform that you're on. But it definitely seems like it's a personality personality disorder.
Recently, the internet's full of like a bunch of I woulda, I coulda, people.
You're never gonna do that.
Yeah.
This thing sucks. You should stop doing it.
Oh my God, dude, it's sad. Recently, there was like this UFC fighter that passed away, Josh Salmon. I think I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. I hope. Rest in peace. He died of like a probable overdose, and some of the comments I saw were just so disrespectful, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to his family, to him, they're like, "Oh, well, he died of an overdose. Like, it doesn't matter. He did it to himself." Really, dude? Like, really? Like, it's sad, man.
You know what it is? It's just, the majority of people in this world aren't happy with their lives, and the internet gives them that security that, I could talk shit without no one knowing who I am.
Yeah, it could be like a persona.
And then it's sad because just realize how much hate out there. That's the percentage of the world that aren't happy with their lives.
Which is a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crabs in a bucket, man. People, they're slow to congratulate and pat somebody in the back, but so quick to like shit on them. You make a mistake or you go for something difficult. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah. Well, most of these people need to realize that like winners celebrate like other people's success. Like that's huge. Like if your boy's winning, like you're winning because your boy's winning.
Right.
Like people are just so quick to put people down, and it's just so annoying, dude. Like I could go on for hours about it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Me too, man.
We bring this up in almost every episode. The people that we have found that we interview that have achieved success in their field all have the same mentality both Dave and I do. And then, we're always like, hey man, I hope you do well. I hope you blow up. Oh, you want to make a cake factory? You fucking make a cake factory.
No, and
go out there and do that.
And the thing is, competition, breeds like greatness too. So let's say you're into like working out and your buddy benches more than you. Instead of being a hater, be like, all right, I'm going to try to beat you next week. It's like, instead of, viewing it as a negative and hating, it could inspire you. When you see somebody doing something great, it's like you, Nick, like you're an inspirational dude. I can't see how people would hate on you, but I'm sure they do.
It happens. Hey, and I'm not saying perfect. I mean, they can hate away. It's just, people always, gonna find something. That's why I tell people, no matter what dream you're trying to pursue, no matter what goal, people are always gonna hate on you. Who cares?
Do you find it's more intense for you than you'd say other like social media stars?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just, I've heard every insult in the book, and it used to bother me. I'll tell you the truth. In high school, I used to take breaks from social media. I used to be like, I can't go on this anymore. Now, go ahead, fire away. So
that's awesome, man.
Myself up mentally. Now I could care less what people say.
Yeah, that's growth right there. That's awesome. I know a lot of athletes, man. They stay off of social media, man, because they can't take the hate. It like gets to their heads, and it's crazy, man. Actors too. But going back to like, helping people and letting everybody shine, do their thing. We had, this actor, Marco Zarora, on, and he had the same mentality, man. He's like, instead of hating on people, man, just, praise them and show them love. We all could shine. But Don, you got something?
No, sorry. We were just covering, I do want to let everybody know on this subject, we are in the middle of an evacuation, so I'm actually shifted into a different location. So if there's extra noises, if I sound distracted, that's because I'm still trying to make this work outside of the studio where we normally function. So I just wanted that to be said. Also, I don't have any rapid fire. So Nick, if you come back again next time, I promise we'll give you like 800 rapid fire questions. But we literally just got done driving for like a day and a half, 2 days down to an evacuation zone. So no questions, but I did want to clarify that.
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah, we're in the middle of a hurricane. So,
yeah, it is kind of intense. So,
all right. So Nick, did you expect your YouTube or your Vine channel to blow up the way it did? Like, do you believe in fate? And what are your thoughts on that? How this whole thing just exploded for you?
With the pranking or the fitness?
Both.
I think it's funny because like I said, I thought pranking was my it, and it wasn't. It was just like a stepping stone to like my life, and it just blows my mind that, I thought that was it, and I'm on like a whole totally different side of the world now. I I mean, it could be fate. I mean, I'm a believer in everything happens for a reason, but I'm not gonna, take away saying it's fate, take away the hard work. I mean, it's just being consistent and posting things and giving value to other people's lives. And you're gonna go somewhere. You just gotta, find what you're gonna give that gives so many people value, and they can, attract to you.
Do you think that the reason you kind of wanted to stop doing the pranking stuff was because you achieved such early, quick success with it? Maybe it was like, well, that was an easy conquering type thing?
I don't think it was that. I just, I didn't want to be known as a prankster. I mean, that's like a joke. Like, I mean, I feel like, people look at me as a joke. Like, you're a prankster. And I wanted to be something more, like, serious and, I feel like you can respect an athlete more than you can respect the prankster, but that's just my opinion.
And I gotta say, man, you blew up because of the pranks initially, and then being brave enough to break away from that and taking a chance.
Oh yeah, that switch is hard,
dude. That's brave, man. Because you said yourself that you were losing subscribers like left and right, and you stuck to your guns, and that's really admirable, And it's got to be like more fulfilling doing what you do now, as like you said, not being known just as like a dude who just does pranks.
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts, and I'm proud of myself for like sticking with it, and dropping down to the low and then bouncing back up, and now we're bigger than we've ever been.
So we were talking about the haters. Let's talk about the positive people out there and the supporters. Do you get random messages from like all over the world?
Yeah. I mean, that's people always ask me, what's your number one drive, and it's the supporters that I have accumulated, that are just behind me in everything I do. I leave my Instagram DMs open. I always message people. I've had people all over the world message me, and the one that I usually bring up, it was about a month ago, and it was a mom from the UK, and she had twins, and one of the twins had to get his legs amputated at birth, and she sent me pictures of him, dressed up like this kid, little man. And they watched my videos together, and she says, when we watch him, he's like me, Mom, he's like me. And that kid can have someone to look up to for the rest of his life, which in my case I didn't have that. So I get to give this kid something that I never had. That you can't put a price on that, dude.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's one of the modern marvels of social media and internet, by the way.
Yeah,
it allows for this stuff to happen.
Yeah, that's gonna be really touching, man, and I could relate to being able to provide something that you never had. Cause like in my life, different situation, but like, I pretty much grew up like without a dad. I didn't have like a broken home, but it wasn't a traditional, Leave It to Beaver kind of like TV upbringing, So, I'm not married and I don't have kids yet, but like, I vowed because of that to provide my future family and kids like a stable environment. Yeah. So, that's really admirable. You got something, Don?
They keep sending it over to me, man.
No, I feel you, like you want to say something.
No. I just think it's fascinating, to be honest. I'm really impressed by how well put together you are, Nick, for being 20 and being so business conscious and driven, when half the time I don't even feel like I'm that way, and I'm well into my 30s. I mean, that's got to help you out tenfold. Now with the fashion modeling thing, I mean, that's essentially what you're going for, right? Like a fitness model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What avenues are you shooting for? Are you talking like magazines, TVs?
Man, the sky's the limit.
Commercials.
At the pace we're going, you can't put a limit. I don't even know where I'll be in 4 months, Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, like all it takes is, one person to see something and just like change your life forever. And that's like, it's just so nuts. And I actually have extremely huge news that I can't even release it yet. Mm-hmm. And, hopefully I can release it like within the next 2 weeks or so, because it's going to be major. But like I said, like my mentor, really helped me with knowing what I'm worth. And, as a person, he's like, dude, you're not one of these fitness guys. He's like, you're a guru of life. He's like, you're going to be, and that's what I'm looking for. I want to land on maybe most influential person of a year or something that big. That's how I want to go.
Mm-hmm. That's the way you're going. Not to interrupt you there, but most fitness models are working with the standard quote. You're going above and beyond because you have to. So it's automatically giving you more credence.
Yeah, and you know, with the speaking thing, I don't see any reason in the world why I can't be as big as like Tony Robbins, you know, big seminars. You know, just give me a couple years and we'll be at that level, flying all around the world speaking. And that's just how I feel, and that's just how confident I am in my hard work.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, we're rooting for you. I'm a fan.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that.
I just think when I was 20, I was like reckless completely.
Dude, you don't want to know what I was doing at 20. I wasn't thinking about changing the world. Let's just say that.
There's a lot, you know, I mean, I feel like fun's a big part of life. So, you know, off the camera, off the Instagram, you know, I'm always with my boys and we're doing something, you know, and, you know, I just feel that's so important, just spending time with your boys. I think
Do you feel you have to like remind yourself to take breaks? Like you have to force yourself, all right, I need to stop for the day, go to the theme park, you know?
I feel, no, because I'm very hard on myself, you know? So like, even sitting here now, I know that like after this phone call, like, hey Nick, you really should edit this video. And I probably won't do it because, you know, sometimes I get lazy, bro. Sometimes it's the truth. And,
yeah,
and I got
human.
So he is human.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. I have my lazy times.
Yeah. Sometimes you need,
Do you have any, sorry to jump on top of you. Do you have any, like, what's your guilty pleasure, like, food-wise? Just out of curiosity, because I know you're a healthy dude, so.
Oh, I love food. Like, I love food. Pasta, dude. I miss, like, eating a massive amount of Italian pasta, you know. Oh man. I love like, you know those Halloween and those Christmas cookies too that everyone gets, dude, those are banging. Yeah. So I love food.
Dude, my guilty pleasure, like I'm a big movie buff and, I don't drink a lot of soda, but sometimes I gotta do big glass of soda with ice and the microwave popcorn.
Yeah.
Well, like extra, like movie butter.
Yeah,
Heart attack butter.
That's the one thing that I, you know, definitely don't do is I stay away from soda, even though I love Dr. Pepper and I haven't had it in over a year and a half, so it's rough.
Yeah, it's poison, just empty calories, right? You know?
Yeah, and dude, that stuff has so much sugar in it, people don't realize.
For sure.
I think that's one of those things. I think that's actually one of the most deadly poisons out in the world right now. Not to bash, you know, not saying like if you drink a Coke you're gonna die or anything, so I don't want to get sued. But you know, I don't think a lot of people realize consuming even just like a can a day, how much that can alter their metabolism, their insulin levels and all that.
Don, were you the one the other morning that told me I got like a can of the classic Coke? It comes like in a black can of classic formula. Was it you that told me that the original formula had like traces of cocaine in it?
Oh yeah. The original one definitely had cocaine.
I'm like,
in it.
Oh great, original formula.
Because it was supposed to be for medical purposes, you know, and they were selling just like liquid cocaine in a can, hence the word Coke. But Crazy. Unfortunately, they can't do that anymore.
Yeah. All right. So Nick, when you wake up in the morning, what's your approach to the day and like your mindset?
You know, we're not us, you know, people just think that we're always positive. We don't have our bad days, but you know, waking up, if you start your day, you know, saying, yeah, I'm going to have a productive day. It's all about the mindset in the morning. If you wake up and you're like, you know, like you're already moping, then you're going to have a shitty day. And that's just the way it is. You got to start your day positive. Mm-hmm. You know, to be honest, I probably put on some like Wiz Khalifa or like A$AP Rocky and I like lay there and then I wake up and let it get me hyped up for the day.
Yeah, so go ahead, Don.
Every morning to you is like waking up to a concert then? That's what you just start the music, get the blood pumping?
Yeah.
I listen to like, everyone knows, whatever I'm doing, there's music in the background.
Yeah.
You know, I'm eating food, I have music on. Everything.
I'm cool on my days off, but on work days, every morning I wake up and I convince myself not to get in a tub with water and throw a toaster in with me.
Yeah, there's
I have that battle every morning, Monday through Friday.
There's a distinct difference. See, luckily Nick is following his dreams. He achieved success. I'm guessing also monetarily while he was in high school. Versus us, we didn't have any of this stuff around, so we had to, you know, go into the regular 9 to 5, which I think is different. If you ever notice, like, follow all the celebrities on Instagram out in LA. They only work a couple hours a day doing acting, and a couple months out of the year, they're the happiest people on the planet.
Of course they're smiling, yeah.
Yeah.
But we talk about that on the show also, Nick. Just kind of like the grind, the 9 to 5 grind, and like following your dreams. It's kind of like what you did when you deviated from like just pranks, and you wanted to get into fitness and inspire people. We talk about that all the time, right, Don? Just like following your heart,
honestly,
being brave.
It's a core ideology for the show. Not like we actually have like a book of ideologies, but that's one of those things is that however many people say we can't do it, we're just going to keep going. Yeah. And the less people that do it, and those people are usually the haters as well too, that's fine. That's less competition.
Well, like we talked about earlier, sheeple. A lot of people are content with mediocrity and just
being average, yeah.
Yeah, being average. And dude, I love the fact that you were not cool with applause for like losing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing, there was like,
I hate
oh man, there was a whole thing like with an athlete like a few years back. It was controversial, and he was like, he said something like kids shouldn't get awards for losing, like tournaments and stuff like that.
Little participation awards, yeah, that's why we're a bunch of bitches.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I agree 100%. Like, if you want an award, work hard and earn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm, bro.
It's a joke, bro. We could sit on here for hours and talk about how much of a joke everything is.
Yep. Dude, same page, man. Yeah. Don, how do you feel about that?
No, I completely agree. I'm glad. It's amazing that we have somebody.
Like, what is that?
I know. I'm just saying it's amazing that we have somebody who's 20 on here who agrees with us. Early 20, sorry. But, I don't necessarily agree at all with participation awards. I never really partook in anything. But I am very much of the fact that you put your nose to the grindstone, you do the work, you reap the rewards, but you put your ass out there.
Yeah, and these, it's my best friend Josh, he's the one that's in most of my lifting videos. It depends what people's opinion on success is, and Josh, would feel great. Like he told me, he's like, dude, I just want to work a regular job and then have my gym time and then relax, and he's fine with that. He works what he needs to work and then he gets to go to the gym and then he gets to relax. It's just what people's opinions on success are. Mm-hmm. And
that's perfectly acceptable. If that's what somebody wants, that's what somebody wants. But don't just tell somebody you're a winner just because you're breathing,
Oh yeah. And it's so important, dude. Like I said, like 95% of the world they're just living. They're not even living. They're just like,
existing.
Yeah, that's the word. They're just existing. They're not doing anything. And no one, people are all talk, oh, I want to do this. I'm not happy. I want to do this. Well, where's the execution? Mm-hmm. There's no execution nowadays.
Yeah. And people want,
instant results.
Yeah, they want instant without the hard work and sacrifice.
I feel like that's everyone. I think that was me too.
Dude, you know what drives me crazy, Nick? Okay, you probably feel the same way, bro, because I'm into fitness also. When you see like these fad like diets and like something you wrap around like your waist to give you abs and like all this stupid bullshit.
The electric shocker.
It's like, give me a fucking break, man. Like the only thing that gets results is hard work. You gotta being consistent, going to gym and put the time
easy
in.
Trying to sell easy ways that don't work.
Gimmicks.
And that's the same. I have a lot of friends in the fitness industry that do this, but these same guys that they advertise their meal plans and their training plans. They give everyone the same plan. It's not a plan made just for you, and they're making money off of it. And I feel like that's one thing that I won't. Trust me, a lot of people, they do make up certain correct plans for people, but a lot of these guys, like the mainstream guys, they don't make up their meal plans. They just have their secretary just here, send them this and let me get paid.
Dude, there was somebody on recently. A lot of his pictures were Photoshopped, man.
Yeah, I was referencing him.
It was this big ass fucking ordeal.
Who is this? Tell me, because I don't know.
he was a Shreds athlete. They unsigned him for that.
Yeah.
He was just touching up his photos with Photoshop, and his secretary or whatever, his assistant came out with a video and was saying, he didn't do any of the work. Like, I wrote up all the meal plans. Like, I sent them to him, and that guy made about 1.1 mil in a year.
Oh my God, man.
Off that, and people are still buying his stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's part of most things, right? Perception is 90%, marketing is the other 10 for me. And, you know, if you just have that, you could really sell shit in a can and people will buy it.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, just think if once I get super shredded and, you know, be like, oh, take this pill. I mean, I could be like, you know, I can't really work out, but
snake oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole scandal was crazy though, man. And if you look at the pictures, like, you can kind of tell they were like Photoshopped. They just look so unproportioned, like in a weird way. And, I saw some comparison pictures and like, it's like the guy, I mean, he was pretty fit and built like regular without Photoshopping, you know? It's craziness, but,
that is wild.
Yeah. So Nick, you've been like really gracious with your time, man. We don't want to keep you on here forever. So, for the people out there listening, if you have a message for them, for the people who doubt themselves, the people feeling sorry for themselves, putting limitations on themselves,
any new potential followers as well?
Yeah, what message do you have for those people listening?
You know what? You gotta deal with the cards life dealt you, no matter what they are. And, you know, I always tell people, and this is my main thing, is, you know, my disability, whatever you want to call it, to me, it's not a disability. The real disability is the kids and adults out there that are paralyzed or, you know, confined to a wheelchair bed sick, that would give up everything and anything just to go outside and be active for a day. So if I'm in the situation that I can go to the gym with ease, get my workout in, and live a healthy life, then it's my duty for those who can't do it. And, you know, just like being someone in the world. I mean, do it for those who can't do it. You know, that kid that's sitting in a wheelchair paralyzed, that would be like, damn, I wish I could go lift. I mean, I have a nurse friend, and they said when these sick kids and adults, they put little tiny weights on their utensils so they feel like they're actually doing something active. Like, bro, come on. Like, you have a full body. You're in a situation where you can do so much if you put the damn effort in. And there's kids out there that are just stuck in wheelchairs.
It's like, what's your excuse?
Come on.
Yeah, man,
that's
I agree.
Inspirational to me, man. That's what I say.
love
Because
it,
I
bro.
see a lot of that in the world. And you know, as an adult, I can't say that stuff. As an able-bodied person, I think, like, you know, it's different coming from you. Like, I feel in a good way it's different. Do you know what I mean? Because you can get out there and you can say, look, I can fucking do it. You can fucking do it. So,
Absolutely.
You know, I think that's actually super inspiring.
You know, I don't want to come off across as, you know, me saying my situation's bad, because my situation's not bad at all. I'm not complaining about my condition, because there are a million people that have a million times worse than me. So, you know, I never even, you know, want pity or think people that, like, I'm sad about my condition, because my condition ain't shit.
Right, you're working with it though. That's the thing. You're taking what life gave you and you're making lemonade.
Yeah. Lemonade cane.
I don't know why this popped in my head, but right now I'm into Luke Cage, Marvel's Luke Cage. So little inside info on you. Nick, do you like Marvel and shows and stuff like that?
You know what? I wish I just don't do a lot of TV watching. I think that's what it is. You know, I don't watch TV a lot. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool, dude. I was gonna be like, what's your favorite show? Like, if you checked out Breaking Bad, or just for the listeners out there.
What about movies? There's gotta be some kind of like downtime thing, like, that you really enjoy doing
video
for
games?
entertainment.
Oh, that's like a secret error of my life. Video games. Do you guys know the game Gears of War?
Hell yeah, dude.
Of course.
The first
Gears of War was the shit.
Yeah, the first Gears of War, I was top 10 in the world for my
What?
MLG team. And people didn't know that, because I didn't put myself out there. And yeah, I play a full controller. I was on one of the top 10 teams in the world. We were disgusting. What was the question? I think I'm getting off topic.
No, it was like entertainment, movies, TV show.
Yeah, what are you into?
Do you guys know the Netflix series Weeds?
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
It's a single mom who just sells weed. That was the first ever series that I got into. I was like, wow, this is good shit. And then Sons of Anarchy, just like, I love Sons of Anarchy.
I saw every episode.
Yeah, I finished Sons of Anarchy, and then I went to Californication. Do you know what Californication is?
Yeah, that's with David Duchovny, right?
That started good.
That is so good.
Dude, I haven't even seen one episode, but I heard great things
Watch
about it.
When you have free time today, you better watch that and think of me.
All right.
He'll come down and kick your ass if you don't, man.
Right now I'm into The Walking Dead. I started Luke Cage. I saw Daredevil. I'm a Punisher fanatic, so I'm waiting for the Punisher season to come out.
The game?
Honestly, if I can, what was that?
Punisher game? What?
That was for the original Xbox.
Oh yes, well you could like torture people.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the jam.
That's right up Dave's alley, man.
Oh my god, yes.
Dude,
cool.
I will jump in here. I just recently watched the first airing, and I'm not, anybody who knows me, I'm not a remake first person. I'm not a sequels person, but Westworld, oh my god, it's so freaking good. And I think it's an HBO. What's that?
I don't even know what that is.
So Westworld was originally a book written by Michael Crichton, way before your time. Right? Yeah. And it was about like, you can basically, this is like a synopsis, you can basically pay a lot of money, it's like $40,000 a day. You can go to this, ranch, which is all run by artificial intelligence. And they actually, in the book, it had, different areas. It wasn't just like a Western, themed thing. It was like, they had Roman stuff and whatnot, but now it's kind of just become the Western thing. But you can go there, you can like kill, you can rape, you can steal, but it's all artificial intelligence. They're really advanced robots. And then it kind of gets into this question of when AI becomes more human, than just a robot, and what we should do and our morals around that. It's like a big character study thing, and they just did a remake of it, and it's quite fantastic.
I'm into Ash vs. Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is like one of my favorite flicks. That's a good show. It's wild.
I did the Game of Thrones binge, and then the new season came out, and I haven't had time because, dude, that's an hour-long episode. That's a long time, I feel like.
Yeah. All right. Let me ask you this, because I'm into Game of Thrones too. Who's your favorite character?
The dragon.
Yo, Khaleesi, that's baby girl.
What?
Khaleesi, my baby girl.
She's fine, dude.
Yeah, she's mad. I love Khaleesi. But,
my God.
I wish I could talk like Jon Snow. I wish I could talk like him.
All right. Yeah.
We talking, who's Jon Snow? Is it like a British dude?
He's one of the leads.
Yeah, one of the leads. He's got an accent. It's just funny.
Even though,
winter is coming and sound like him.
Yeah, even though Jamie Lannister, he's on that Jerry Springer stuff with his sister. Jamie's my boy. I like him. And, the Hound. Dude, the Hound is my dude.
Yeah.
See, now I watched episode 1 of Game of Thrones, and there just wasn't enough explanation, and I'm all about ambiguity. But I was like, wait, and what? And who? And the family, but nobody knows who the family is.
You gotta come back to that, man.
I'll tell you what, Peter Dinklage, though, my God, you want to talk about some great writing? Because he goes, he's like, I forget the line, but I had to stop and rewind it to listen to it again. But he said something, he's like, I go to war all the time, but my stick is a meat, and I stab the women with it. Like, he was just talking about having sex or something like that. But it was done in such like a flawless way.
What's his name? Tyrion? Is that his name?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think his name, dude, Don, if you only seen season 1, dude, that guy he's gangster.
Yeah, he's an OG. Absolutely.
Yeah. He's actually from New Jersey.
What?
Yeah, Peter Dinklage, he does a good British accent. He's from New Jersey.
Nice. But, alright, so Nick, where can people contact you and reach you? And, of course,
where can they follow you?
Yeah, where can they follow you? We're going to plug your pages in the description of the episode, but, you can tell the listeners.
All right. You can follow me on Instagram at NickSanto534, no spaces, NickSanto534. And then you could type that in YouTube and I'll pop up, my full name on Facebook, Nick Santonastasso. And, pretty much Google me. You'll find me if you Google me.
Cool. Nick, man, it's been a pleasure having you on. It was a lot of fun. Don, you want to bring us out?
I can bring us out. Just don't forget too, we'll link as much as we can to you, Nick, in the description of the episode. So if you guys go on to podomatic.com/Funny Blunt Truth Podcast, or just Google Funny Blunt Truth Podcast.
You can see it in iTunes also.
Yeah, iTunes. But, we'll put the description in we'll put all the necessary information. I'll get this right. In the description for the episode, whatever media it is, so you can just quick link to, Nick. So make sure you follow us on iTunes, subscribe, like, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's Funny Blunt Truth Podcast. Feel free to interact. Any questions, comments? Tell us how terrible the show is. Address everything to Dave at funnybluntruthpodcast@gmail.com.
He says this every episode. So I get the hate.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. You can handle it better than me. I'm a sensitive little bird. That's all. I'm an individual snowflake. I get the participatory awards.
Yeah.
For Nick, thanks for being on, man. And if you want, you come back next time. Like I said, I appreciate you sticking with us. We're in a bit of a flux right now because this hurricane thing. We're not recording from the usual studio. We don't have, the rapid fire ready. So if you come back for round 2, if you like this, you come back and we'll do a round 2 and then we'll get you on some rapid fire, which is some pretty fun stuff.
We could do a Game of Thrones recap.
Sounds good.
On a season.
But, for myself, Dave and Nick, this has been episode 35. Funny Blunt Truth. We'll see you guys on the next one.